Hey, thank you for watching our video. My name is Vinny. I'm with Rising Sun Pools. We're going to go over how to summarize your above ground pool. That means getting it unwinterized and ready for your springtime. What we did in the winter was we put all of our plugs and our pressure gauge, sight glass right inside the strainer housing for safekeeping. So we knew when we came in the spring it would be here. So basically I'm going to start by taking this lid off, taking the basket out, and that's going to be where all of my plugs were stored over the winter months. So we'll start with our plug for our pump. It's a pretty small plug. We can either use an adjustable wrench to put it back in its place or a 9/16 wrench. It's a good idea to put a little Teflon tape on these threads so that you get a really nice seal inside there. So I'm going to start by just putting this in the front of the pump. On the above ground units, this is a Hayward Power Flow Matrix. This is going to have just one plug and it's located right in the front. On your traditional in-grounds, there's going to be multiple plugs. There may be one on the front and one on the side or two on either side. For this video purpose, this is a Power Flow Matrix. There's just going to be one plug. So I'm going to insert that plug and then tighten it down. We want it hand tight and one turn with a pair of adjustable pliers. Our next step is we are going to put our pressure gauge on, and that's going to be located in the front of this multi-port. It's going to be towards the top of it. You'll see some threads there. Again, a good idea is to put some Teflon tape to reduce the chance that this is going to leak. And we're just going to start by very easily just turning this in its place. And you want to just have this hand tight. You don't need actually a turn on any pliers on this pressure gauge. I'm going to get to a point where we can see the numbers on the pressure gauge. So when we're backwashing or running the filter, we're able to easily read that. Our next step is to put our sight glass in place. You want to make sure that the O-ring is intact and the O-ring is on the sight glass. And that's going to be put right here on the side where you're going to be backwashing or putting it on waste. It'll fit right in this place. And again, I'm just going to hand tighten this. Our final step on our filter is our drain plug for the filter. It's going to be located down here. Normally you will not have water coming out of here, but for this video we just winterized it. The tank has quite a bit of water in it, so traditionally when I go in the spring I won't have water running through this because that tank would be completely empty. But for this video we just winterized it, so there's still some water in here. So I'm going to take my plug, put it right here on the bottom, hand tight, and then we are going to do one turn with an adjustable wrench just to make sure we got a nice seal. Our final step with our equipment is to change the valve. Over the winter months we had it on a winter setting. What we're going to turn this to now is to our filter setting. So we're going to turn that right to filter and it's going to fit right in place. At this point, we've completed unwinterizing our filter equipment. I'm going to put the basket back in place, and we're going to get a bucket of water to prime this pump. I've got my bucket of water. It's just a 5-gallon bucket of water. I'm going to put a little water in here, and it's going to come to the top of it, and we'll know that we have plenty of water in there to start that pump. Finally, we put the lid on it. Lid is labeled. It'll have an open and close kind of arrows how to turn it on and off. So we're going to put it on. We're going to give it a nice turn, lock it in place. So our next step is we're going to unwinterize the swimming pool. What I'm going to start by doing is taking out our threaded plug that was in the return line. Quite simply, just thread this out. Put it here on my top rail, and we're going to thread our eyeball fitting in. In our eyeball fitting, we want it to face in a 45-degree angle towards the surface of the water and fit it right in place. Next, we're going to do the same to our skimmer. We're going to remove our gizmo So we're just going to thread out our gizmo, and we'll put our pump basket in its place. You want to save both the skimmer plug and also your return plug, because you can reuse these year after year. Put my lid back on for our skimmer, and we're ready to fire up our pump. To fire up our pump, we're quite simply just going to turn the toggle switch here on the back of this Hayward Power Flow Matrix from the off position to on position. It'll start up. It's not unusual for the first few minutes for you to see some air inside this pump. We're removing the air that was in those lines over those winter months. We're going to let this run through. Eventually it'll run with no air in the system. At that time, good idea to add some algicide and to add some chlorine shock to start up the system if you're on a chlorine-based system. You have summerized your pool. You're ready to go swimming. Thank you for watching our video. The video you just watched was summerizing and winterizing your above ground pool. On an in-ground pool, there is a few other steps that you need to follow. Please feel free to contact us here at Rising Sun Pools. We would be able to help fill in those gaps and make sure that you have winterized or summerized your in-ground equipment correctly. Thank you again.